Welcome to part 1 of 5 on my series on radicals. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive on the square root. Let's get started. The square root is the inverse operation to the square. So, for example, when I say that 3 squared is 9, I may write inversely that the square root of 9 is 3. So let's do a rapid fire set of practice problems. The square root of 64 is the number that when I give it a square, it becomes 64. And that number is 8. Negative square root of 49. Well, the square root of 49, remember that's the number that when I give it a square becomes 49. That's 7. But I have a minus sign out front, so I get minus 7. This one is a little bit trickier. The square root of 1/4. What number times itself is a fourth? Well, it's a half. I've got a few more for you guys to try. Go ahead and pause the video here and try parts D, E, and F on your own to do. 9 plus 16 is 25, and the square root of 25 is 5. In part E, I also have some simplification to do. The square root of 9 is 3, the square root of 16 is 4, and 3 plus 4 is 7. Now these two together show us a really important property, actually. Oh, sorry, lost my feed for a second. These two show us a really important property, that the square root of A plus the square root of B is not the same thing as the square root of A plus B. Notice in part D, I have that bottom expression, the square root of A plus B. And I didn't get the same thing as if I had broken up the radical over addition. I'm going to put that in more concrete writing here in one of the future videos. But for now, this is a good little counterexample. Part F is a little confusing because it's got a minus sign on the inside. Now, you have probably been told that you can't take the square root of a negative number. And in a sense, you're right, that there is no real answer to this problem. But there is a complex one, and that answer would be 2i. We're going to put a big fat pin in that conversation until later on in this class. Until we get there, we will say that we can't take the square root of negative numbers. One last fact I'd like to leave you with is that the square root of a squared is another way of writing down the absolute value. This is just sort of a little fun fact, if you will. From this video, you should be taking away how to compute simple square roots. In the next video, we're going to look at some properties of square roots that can help us to tackle more challenging problems. Catch y'all in the next one.